Coming to you from quarantine New York, it's Under the Radar presents Movie Commentaries starring Randy Unger. Tonight, Randy will be watching Batman Returns with special guest Kid Champagne Matthew Habermann and Forrest Bennett. Grab your popcorn, dim the lights, it's movie time.
Hey guys, I'm Randy Unger, and this is another edition of Under the Radar presents Movie Commentaries, where we take the best cinema of our past and we put a little spin on it. This is, I think, our 6th or 7th episode. We've done a bunch of great classic movies so far, and giving our own take on things with a special commentary. It's just a lot of fun, and over the past month or so, we've just had a really good time revisiting these classic films. Tonight, we're going to delve into Tim Burton's 1992 sequel, Batman Returns. It is the sequel and follow-up to 1989's Batman, and Michael Keaton reprises his role as the Caped Crusader, and we also have a very disturbing performance from Danny DeVito as the Penguin, and a very sensual performance from Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. And also Christopher Walken's in it as another villain. So this is this film is jam-packed with excitement. It's funny, it's adventurous, it's dark, and it's got a great score by Danny Elfman. But yeah, gentlemen, I want to welcome my wonderful panel of guests tonight. We've got Matt Habermann, Kid Champagne. How's it going?
Everything's good, Randy. How about yourself?
I'm good. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you, and thank you for a great week.
Oh yeah, this was a good week. Very Titus filled. But we'll get into that later on at a different time. But tonight is about Batman, and I know I have another Batman fan here tonight. We've got Mr. Forrest Bennett. Hello, welcome back, sir.
Hey, Randy.
How's it going? It's been a while.
I know. I'm right now, as you can see, I am currently in the frozen tundra that is Tim Burton's Gotham on the rooftops. I got Catwoman right behind me, and the bat signal beaming through the sky, beaming through the night sky.
I love it, and that would have been the Catwoman movie that they envisioned. Instead, we got the Halle Berry version in 2004. But a wonderful ending to a wonderful film. And Batman Returns. Real quick, this was one of the first movies I remember actually going to theaters for. I was about 7. It's the summer of 1992, and I remember going with my parents. I had my deep dive Batman action figure with me, and I was so excited because I was just young enough for the first one. I remember going, but there's like bits and pieces I remember. I was only 4. But by the time I was 7, I fully appreciated the character of Batman and how important he was to my childhood. So just real quick before we get into the movie, Matt, what are your first impressions, some of your early memories of Batman Returns?
Oh, I think my first memory, I remember seeing it in the theaters when I went out to the Hamptons with my grandparents. They took me to see Batman Returns, and it was just a phenomenal film. I mean, I loved every moment of it. I think Michael Keaton is the Batman of my generation.
Yes. Agreed. And also, I forgot to, a few days ago, it was announced that Michael Keaton will be reprising his role after nearly 30 years in the upcoming Flash movie. So that sent shockwaves throughout nerddom. And I'm really excited for that.
And he'll be doing it alongside Ben Affleck.
Yeah. So it's going to be an interesting film for sure. But far as what are some of your early memories?
Okay, so I was 4 years old when Batman Returns came out. It was actually the first Batman movie I saw in theaters, which, maybe not the best movie to take a 4-year-old to. It freaked the hell out of me at the time. Although I still enjoyed it. I remember having a whole Batman, my 5th birthday that year. I had a whole Batman Returns themed birthday party, like all the cake, like all the party decorations. My parents rented Batman Returns for me and my friends to watch. And I remember getting I don't have it on me because it's like all gnarled. It's in a box somewhere, but I got the Batman Returns comic book adaptation by Denny O'Neil for my birthday,
Nice.
along with my first batch of Batman action figures.
I think I had that comic book too. It was awesome. It got a little worn out. But I read that thing so
Cover to cover.
Yeah. It was a great adaptation.
And it has, and in the years since, it has become probably one of my, I would say it's, it used to be my favorite Batman movie as a kid, but now I would say, I don't know, I think as far as live action movies, I'd probably put it maybe fourth best, but it's definitely one of my top 5 Christmas movies of all time.
Okay, cool. I think I would put this in the top 3 favorite Batman movies of all time. That with Dark Knight and probably a tie between 89's Batman and Mask of the Phantasm. So yeah, I'm a sucker for 90s Batman. You know.
Same here.
Yeah, I think for all of us, it's for sentimental reasons. We love Keaton.
Yeah, and also, I learned to read with Batman comics.
Nice.
So.
Nice. That's such a crazy statement. To learn how to read off of Batman. It's a testament to how how influential the character is, and especially comic books as a medium.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So without further ado, we're gonna start up the movie. All right, guys. So I'm at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and I'm gonna count down from 3. And when I say play, just press play. All right. 3, 2, 1, play. Should see the Warner Brothers logo.
All right, I see the gate of the Cobblepot Mansion.
Oh, the Cobblepot Mansion.
Great score by Danny Elfman. This is actually my favorite score of all time.
And just to know that Cobblepot's father, like Paul Rubens. Pee Wee Herman himself.
There he is. He was obviously in Burton's first feature, Pee-wee's Big Adventure, in 1985.
We came into a nice series, Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yep.
Oh, and then we go and see like, oh my God, no. Your son is a monster. Now there is something like on the internet of the Cobblepot family album, and you can see, because you can't see how the baby really is.
Oh, I've seen. There's a picture, right, of Oswald Cobblepot as a baby. You can actually see how he looks. It's very creepy. They never show him in the movie, but
I'll have to check that out. This is the first time I've heard about this.
It's a behind-the-scenes image of him as baby penguin. It's weird. Oh, and that actress was also in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. She was the woman.
Simone.
Thank you. Yes, that he has a sort of a light romantic relationship with. So it's pretty cool that Burton reused them. Oh, the score always gets me.
Yep. Granted, I've been listening to it all, listening to the score all for the last nonstop for the last 3 days to get ready for this.
Awesome. I used to have the cassette tape. I used to play it in my Walkman. It's great because it combines the themes and elements from the first score with like that twinkly Christmas vibe from Edward Scissorhands, which is just the perfect combination of music. It's so disturbing. It's just attempted murder of a baby.
Infanticide. By rich people. I was saying, it's like, could you imagine, like, I don't know, the Kardashians doing that to one of their own?
I didn't really Christopher Walken to be in this.
And he's perfect in it.
Apparently, I was watching the special features on the DVD today, and Marion, and they were doing an interview. They had an interview with Marion Dougherty, the casting director for this movie, And when she said that when she suggested him to Tim Burton, Burton freaked out. Like he was actually scared of Walken.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny. Because of his previous roles, like he's always kind of sort of villainy, sort of villainous, sort of
Eccentric and creepy.
right, morally ambiguous.
I don't know if Max Zorn is considered ambiguous.
No.
And into the Penguin's lair he goes.
So this is a thing that Tim Burton likes to do in his opening title sequences. He likes to have the camera follow an object. He did this with Edward Scissorhands. That was like a cookie factory, or there was some factory in the beginning of that. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, also a sequence in a factory following objects in there. And I don't know, he just likes to do that in most of his films. It's like sort of a signature.
I was saying Beetlejuice. He follows the camera follows over the model town.
That's a great one, yeah.
That's a great film.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention.
That's the first time I noticed Tim Burton's brilliance. Beetlejuice.
I would probably put that as maybe my second or third favorite Burton movie.
Nice. Yeah.
You know, just I was at Royal Collectibles. This where they have. It's actually a good price, still in the box, for like $15. You have a Catwoman action figure from Batman Returns in their packaging.
Oh, speaking of the devil, I do have I have the Kenner Catwoman figure on me. The first of several figures I will probably be pulling out tonight.
Awesome. Do you have the whip?
I lost the whip, but I still have the spear gun that came with it.
Okay.
Do you have the Batmobile?
I don't have the Batmobile, but I do have the Bruce Wayne conversion coupe. I don't know where the Bruce Wayne figure that came with it is buried in a box somewhere, but I do have the car. It does, although the pull-out function. Oh wow, it actually worked for once.
That's a great toy. They actually reused that for Superman the Animated Series for Kent,
and also for Batman the Animated Series too.
It's a great concept for a toy.
Yeah, although I don't know why Clark Kent. As far as Superman, I don't know why Clark Kent would need a car. Clark Kent would need a car.
Yeah, good point.
Now I have, Funko just came out with release of the pops of the Batman movie villains: Penguin, Catwoman.
Huh. The Tim Burton versions.
The Tim Burton versions.
Cool. Oh. And this is obviously modeled after Rockefeller Center, the big Christmas tree.
Gotham Plaza. There's Alfred.
There we go. We see Alfred. Penguin, man or myth?
Michael Gough.
Gough.
Gough. He's actually been around. He was in the old Hammer horror films.
Movies. Yep. Phantom of the Opera. That's the one that always sticks out to me. As far as his performances in those movies.
Yeah, I really just know him from the Batman movies. But
Batman. Well, also as far as Burton, he did quite a few with Burton. He did outside of the Batman movies. He did Sleepy Hollow and The Corpse Bride.
Oh, really? Corpse Bride. Okay.
You're talking about Christopher Walken?
No,
Michael Gough.
Alfred. The production design is amazing.
And is he still alive or no? He passed, I think.
He
right?
He passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, him and the actor Pat Hingle, who plays Gordon. Yeah, they both passed away.
The only constant between the Burton and Schumacher movies.
I think the one who's been in most Tim Burton films is Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Him and I'm trying to think who else is regular. Because Burton's got quite a few regulars besides Depp and Helena Bonham Carter.
I think he's been using Eva Green a lot recently.
Yeah. And before that,
Oh, boardroom. Okay,
And,
let's politician.
Walken was also in Sleepy Hollow.
yes, he was as the Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
No
He was
dialogue.
the Horseman.
And then Danny DeVito, he would later show up in Big Fish and Mars Attacks.
Right. Nicholson was also in Mars Attacks as well.
It was Michael J. Fox.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great cast.
That cat loaded.
That might be a future commentary. Mars Attacks.
By the way, in the background, so there's all these photos of Max Schreck with all these rich and famous people. One of them is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, good eye.
Well, I was reading trivia. It was a trivia thing I read on it, but I'm like, and then 5 years later, well, yeah, that happened. Batman.
Oh, yeah. Don't talk about that film very much.
Wait, which film?
You know.
The Batman movie that will not be named.
Batman. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was pretty terrible.
I saw it twice when it came out. I was 9 years old. I didn't know any better.
Yeah, I mean, I was super excited in the months leading up to Batman Forever because of Batman Returns. It really, it hyped me up. It's like, I want to see what comes next after this awesome movie. And I was let down with Batman Forever. And then I kind of went into Batman and Robin like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to check this one out. Yeah. And this is a set on Warner Brothers Studios.
Yep.
I think it's one of the largest studios.
Don't just love the Warner Brothers.
Soundstage on the lot.
Now, Randy, you've been to the Warner Brothers Studios.
Yes.
Don't you love that Batman exhibit with all those Batmobiles and cars and everything.
That room is amazing, and it's got just.
Oh, yeah. There's Schwarzenegger right next to Sammy Davis Jr.
That's great. Oh, and he's got a picture with Elvis, like the Nixon Elvis counter. That's funny.
Yeah, Max Schreck. He had alliances with the Penguin and Mr. Freeze.
But Matt, yeah, that room with all the Batmobiles and the Bat vehicles, very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah. The Warner Brothers studio tour is one of the greatest things ever.
I'll need to go. I'll have to go on that tour next time I'm in LA.
You should.
As far as studio tours, I've only done Paramount.
I want to do that one next.
I did Paramount. It was awesome. But I think Warner Brothers was more interactive and more fun. It's actually better for the whole family. There's like more photo ops and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. Well, when I went there was not so many that were available on weekends, and Warner Brothers had weekend availability.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like a president is coming by.
He said he wanted unconditional love wrapped in a big bow.
There you go.
Oh, here we go. And all comes out chaos.
How did they manage to transport that giant gift?
I know. Okay, so in the comic, this is one of the differences between the comic adaptation and the movie was that in the comic, they sent the gift box parachuting down to the streets.
Uh-huh. Well, how did they get it up there in the sky? That's the question.
There's a lot of this. I'll admit this movie does leave leaves a lot of open questions.
True.
Like I'll probably point out later on when the scene comes up.
But we just go with it.
Yeah.
Oh, and here we're gonna get the bat signal. Oh my God, this scene.
I wonder where that house is located, that Wayne Manor, or was that just staged?
I think that's a model.
That's a model.
Keaton.
I do have to wonder though. We have to wonder though, like why would he keep and he devices in his house that clearly point out that he's Batman.
Right. He figures no one's going to climb 200 or 100, 150 feet up and inspect the roof. But yeah, I always wondered that too. And this actor with the organ grinder, this is Vincent Schiavelli. He was in
That's something on high.
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest too, with Jack Nicholson, Joker.
Yep, and he's in a lot of movies. And then one of the Penguin's goons, they already showed her already. The one wearing a Native American headdress. I'm sure when she shows up again, I'll point her out. But she was Diamond on American Gladiators.
Okay.
Really?
Good show. Good times. Beautiful Batmobile. I'm happy they brought it back from the first film.
That's the best Batmobile there ever was.
Agreed.
It's pretty innovative. Yeah, it's pretty.
Well, I don't know. It's a tough call between this one, the Adam West Batmobile, and the Tumbler.
You know what? I actually like, even though the movie is terrible, I like the Batman and Robin Batmobile a lot. It's just got a really sleek look. And it looks like a hot rod.
I like the Batman Forever Batmobile.
The Batman Forever Batmobile was okay.
Yeah. Kind of pointy.
I wasn't the only one. I'll admit the Batman. So between Batman and Robin, the only ones I didn't care for were Batman and Robin and Ben Affleck's Batmobile.
I kind of like Ben Affleck's Batmobile. I liked it more than the Tumbler. It was like a slight variation.
For me, the more tank type Batmobile, I find that fine for Nolan's movies, but with the DCEU, I'm like, can we go back to like a more
traditional?
Yeah, more traditional Batmobile.
I like a Batmobile that's sleek, that is believable, that it could make sharp turns and go at really high speeds.
It's series Batmobile.
The which one?
The animated series Batmobile.
That's yeah. Well, there are two versions. They're both great versions.
I know you have the second. You have the toy of the second one.
Yeah, I used to have that at the Strong Island. Yeah, that was a really very sleek one. And so with the bat suit, it's different here. Most notably, the emblem.
Emblem and the armor.
Yeah, and I'm curious, Forrest, you might have some insight as to why the emblem was different in the first film.
That's what. Yeah, honestly, I'm wondering that myself. I know that the emblem that he had on his chest in the first movie, that was the emblem on his chest from The Killing Joke by Alan Moore.
Oh, with the two extra points.
That was the first time he did that was in. It was I think the first time he did that as far as the comic book was
the signage.
I think it's weird though. In the movie, the actual costume has the two extra points, but the marketing materials and the poster.
I noticed, yeah.
So I never really understood why they were different. Something to look up.
Might have been a slip up by the costume team.
That's a pretty slip up.
But I know that this suit in particular was because I was watching this as I was seeing on the DVD extras. It was the suit in this one was more inspired by Art Deco, and more. They were trying to go for like a more Art Deco locomotives, like more machinery,
Huh. Yeah, the whole Gotham City in this one is more industrial looking.
That they said they were going for a mix of fascism and, actually, according to Bo Welch, the production designer, they were going for a mix of fascism and German expressionism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Here's the Gotham Zoo. You want to know? Isn't it supposed to be like the
Central Park?
Kind of like the Bronx Zoo, I guess.
No, I would think it's closer to Central Park Zoo. With these weird Beetlejuice sculptures. That was taken directly from Beetlejuice. That claw.
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
One of Delia's sculptures.
Yes. Love that movie. Red Triangle Circus Gang. And so these penguins,
Darkest penguin there is.
they were a combination of actual penguins, robotic penguins, and
actors, little actors in suits.
right. Danny DeVito was perfect for this.
I think pretty much everyone. I think when they were making, I think going into casting this movie, I think he was the one role that everybody knew he was going to be playing. That he was kind of a given. Much like
Yeah.
like nobody else could have played the Penguin at the time.
Yeah. I heard
Yeah,
Joe.
that penguin action figure, Forrest.
The only Penguin figure I have is from Toy Biz's DC Comics line.
Which is the same one.
Yeah, but it's not with the black, but the Kenner, the one from Batman Returns was painted black and red.
Right.
Right, but it's still the same one.
It came with an umbrella pack.
Did any of you guys have the Penguin glider, the plane?
I did not, but I remember seeing
No,
it.
I didn't.
I remember seeing it at a comic book shop a few years ago.
It's a cool toy. I had it. It would squirt water, and it also released bombs. And
Umbrella bombs. Yep.
I think it was the same wave as the Skydrop vehicle for Batman.
Yep. You have to wonder though, why Kenner didn't try to make a toy out of the Duckmobile.
I know they did the Batsky boat.
Well, in their Happy Meal toys, they did.
That's true.
Actually, the Duckmobile wasn't in the Happy Meal line either.
Yes, it was.
It was just a yellow car with an umbrella on the front.
Oh, it was a car.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was.
So Penguin had a car, and so did Catwoman. And there were two Batman toys, I think, with the Happy Meal.
Yeah, the Batmobile and the Batski boat.
Right. The Batmobile converted into the missile, right?
Yes.
That was a great, yeah. Oh, the merchandise for this movie was insane. I had so much of it, and
I've got quite a bit of it on me right now.
yeah.
I mean, if you want me to show off anything, I don't know if I want to show up everything right now or.
Well, how about one right now and throughout the commentary?
Okay. I'll start off with where did it go? Where did it go? I know I had it on me.
Oh, and for the Penguin's like ink that comes out of his mouth, it's mouthwash with food coloring.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so it was very edible.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Oh, man, where is it?
Just it's kind of like when they in Back to the Future that they didn't use real manure on
On Thomas F. Wilson.
yeah.
What was it, like brownies or something?
Something like that. Instead of I hate manure, you should have used I love brownies.
And in the third movie, it was green, the manure. But that's another commentary for another time. So, Max Schreck, I believe he was modeled a bit after our current president.
Yes, actually. A combination of him and like mad scientist characters from older movies.
Yeah. And the name Max Schreck is actually the name of the actor who played Nosferatu. Was that the film from the 20s, or was it a late?
1922.
Okay, it was the 20s. Okay.
The hand.
Fred's hand.
That scene always freaked me out when I was a kid.
Strangely, that was the one part that didn't freak me out as a kid. Even though it should have.
I mean, at the time, parents like really hated this movie. Like, there's even a video on YouTube of a talk show where they're basically talking about how bad this movie is for kids, how inappropriate and dark it is. And now looking back at it, nearly 30 years later, I kind of agree with them. But
I mean, you're right. But then again, there's a lot of stuff we saw as kids that probably wasn't meant for. It was popular with our age, with people our age, but really was not appropriate.
right.
Exactly.
I mean, for our generation, they marketed toys based on R-rated movies.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Please, they rated like they think they produced toy guns. You don't see many of those anymore.
No.
Oh, I don't know. Nerf's still pumping them out. No pun intended.
Nerf is something different. Nerf is Nerf.
One thing I never got into in terms of the toys was the role playing stuff, like the weapons and the suits.
I had the well, this is actually from the first movie, but I had the utility belt.
Cool.
That it came with like a few gadgets, like including
A batarang.
No batarang, but it had
Gun.
What?
Yeah, gun. Yeah, a gun, walkie-talkie, binoculars, nightstick. Oh, and a bat signal buckle.
Cool. Was that Kenner?
That was Kenner.
Kenner was everything back then.
Yeah. Kenner and Playmates and Toy Biz to some extent.
Yeah.
And Mattel.
Toy Biz mainly for Marvel though. That's really all they had. Well, they had that line of Batman figures that had Bob the Goon.
Bob the Goon with kicking action. That was actually the very first toy line I ever got into.
I did have the Batman Joker from that line, although both figures broke.
They were perfectly made.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like almost every Toy Biz figure I had broke easily. Except Goldberg from WCW. That was the only one that didn't break on me.
I still have the original Sting action figure and its packaging in my parents' basement.
Nice.
All right.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
Max Shrek, man.
Stalker.
He's so
I'm
evil.
sorry, Shrek's a stalker.
And actually, guys, I before this commentary, I watched that video of Sean Young on the Joan Rivers show.
In a Catwoman costume.
Yeah, I've heard stories about her actually going to Warner's in costume,
Which
but I never saw video of her actually in the costume on Joan Rivers show. That was very, very. She's disturbed, I think.
Yeah, I mean, she had a lot of problems.
Yeah.
I mean, she recently got. I know a few years ago she got in trouble for like committing cat burglary.
Well, that's what Catwoman is, a cat burglar.
That's true. So she actually is Catwoman. And I think she's had some issues with alcoholism, stuff like that.
Yeah, and I know she was supposed to be Vicki Vale in the original, but then she got injured doing a horse riding stunt when that movie was supposed to have a horseback riding scene. They got cut.
That's one thing why Batman Returns I don't get is why they stuck away from the Vicki Vale scene, Vicki Vale storyline. I wish they continued that.
Yeah, it would have been cool to see Vicki Vale in this.
Have you guys ever read Sam Hamm's first draft of the script?
No.
Okay, because if it's online, if you want, if it's online, I can send it to you guys. It's his script. It's very different from this one. It still has Penguin and Catwoman. It's still set at Christmas time, but it's got Vicki Vale is in it, as is Robin.
So there's no romantic interest between Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle.
Not really.
Or is there like a love triangle in a way?
And they were supposed to use Robin.
Not much.
So they were supposed to do Robin in Batman Returns. Yet alone, they sold an action figure in the Batman Returns line.
I've got that figure right here. And it's funny because this figure is based off of Drake.
Awesome.
Nice. You got
Here's a condition bars.
And it's obviously based off of Tim Drake,
Right.
Who had just become Robin at the time.
Right.
But we're supposed to be but Marlon Wayans was supposed to play Robin.
Right. Right.
but he got rid now.
That would have been interesting to see.
Yeah,
Well-
actually, he's this very day, like he was supposed to, because he was under contract to play Robin in this movie and Batman Forever, but then when Joel Schumacher came on board, they just bought out his contract, but apparently he still gets residuals from this movie.
Really?
Hey, yeah,
That's insane.
hey, I say good for him.
I think I'd rather see Marlon Wayans and Chris O'Donnell, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Not a big O'Donnell fan.
O'Donnell was too old to be a teenager.
They were like not even 10 years difference in age.
Oh, so now you see the cats going after Selena
Just
Kyle.
freaked me out.
And it introduces the somewhat supernatural element of reincarnation. Obviously, she would have been killed instantly.
Although she did go through all those spawnings.
Yeah, that's whiplash and broken neck and bones.
Oh,
But if you can't
Oh.
nip your finger, you come back to life.
oh, honey, I'm home.
Apparently, to get all those cats on her, they put tuna all over her body.
Yum. And originally, Annette Bening was going to be Catwoman, but I think
She
got
dropped
pregnant.
out due to pregnancy.
Yeah.
So what is it that she was just brought back to life or no? Or
Yeah, we're just supposed to go with it. Accept it. She's alive now.
yeah, and psychotic. Oh, Miss Kitty.
Would have been cool to see her interaction with the Joker, with Nicholson.
Yeah. Well, you can see that. You can see that in 1994's Wolf.
Touche. I was like, yeah, there has to be a movie that these two have been in together. Yeah, you answered my question.
And now she's gonna lose it.
Wait for it.
And then,
Wait for it. Triggered.
Oh no, not the stuffed animals.
Not the sock monkey. I don't know how she managed to fit all of them in there. Apart from the fact that it's a set.
And then there's the cats. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you should leave now.
This is your brain on cats.
Oh yeah. Let's take care of that. Pink is out, black is in. Dang, that was a good light.
Yeah.
Oh, we got into the dollhouse too? I don't understand that. Or maybe, oh, now I get it. Out with the old and in with the new. So who rocked the suit better? Michelle Pfeiffer or Halle Berry?
Oh God.
Okay? That's like, is this really a question? I mean, granted, Halle Berry did look good in her suit, but I don't think you can top Pfeiffer.
Okay, Michelle Pfeiffer is the good dream. Halle Berry is the nightmare. Can we go with that?
Disaster, that movie. I was just curious about it. I watched it a couple years ago. Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
I never had any desire to see that movie.
You're not missing much.
I just remember Ebert's review of it.
What'd he say?
Where he said He thought Halle Berry. He said he liked Halle Berry's face. He liked Halle Berry's body in that suit. But otherwise he hated the movie. Otherwise he hated the movie.
Yeah. And I think Sharon Stone was the villain in that.
Yes, and she was one of the runner-ups for Catwoman in this movie.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
And you know, also like the Catwoman, the animated series Catwoman, the action figure is kind of like it's the same scale, just painted differently.
Right.
But I gave her like a pet cat accessory to put on her neck.
Yeah, Isis.
And she was gray, not black, right?
Yeah.
And she wore flats.
It was the same sculpt as the Batman Returns Catwoman.
Pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, because there were a lot of similarities between both lines because they came out like the same year.
Yeah, just months apart.
Awesome. Yeah, they reused Robin for the animated series too.
They did. But they gave him a new head.
That was a great line too. They did like every villain in that line.
Almost every villain. I think the only ones they didn't do were Vertigo, Lockup.
Hmm. Who was the character that Adam West voiced in one episode?
Grey Ghost. He didn't have a figure either.
That would have been a cool figure to have.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, Kenner is the best.
Or was.
True.
Kenner's still around.
This would have been Matt, you're right. This would have been a really great vehicle to have.
I actually had a die-cast Duckmobile from Earl, because Earl produced a line of die-cast vehicles.
Right.
And I had the Duckmobile along with.
I think that was the only toy that they did for the Duckmobile. Kenner should have done one.
I know. I don't know how they passed up on that. Same with a new doing a movie accurate penguin.
I like the red and black repainted one.
Granted, that was probably more marketable to kids than Danny DeVito with black goo spilling out of his mouth.
Yeah.
But you see, like right now, they have the statues out in like the comic stores, like Danny DeVito's Penguin.
Mm.
And then, you know, the technology right now, they're making the action figures like that. Have you guys ever watched Gotham?
Yeah, I saw the first 2 seasons.
I saw the first season.
It's a great show.
I know Paul Rubens played Penguin's father on that show too.
I know, but he had a different name. I don't think it was
Tucker.
Hobblepot.
Oh,
it was a different name. Yeah. Well, yeah, that was pretty cool that he reprised his role for that. Oh, and here's a side note. I think they just released the first trailer for the Batman.
I have not seen it yet.
The Robert Pattinson.
Not only that, today with Fandom, they also did like a teaser for the new Suicide Squad.
And they released a new trailer for Wonder Woman 1984 and the Zack Snyder Justice League cut.
Which is going to be on HBO Max.
Yeah, I should have mentioned
the miniseries.
It right now is a DC fandom, right? Fandom. So all the exciting new projects that
Do you have to pay to watch that?
I don't know. I've been seeing like just notifications regarding it.
Yeah, that's what I'm paying for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have to pay for it. If you're a DC Universe member with their like streaming service and everything, that would be free. However, I know that what's going to be happening is that DC Universe is going to be shutting down and everything's going to be going straight to HBO Max, which is exciting. If you don't, I like the streaming service. That's what I'm using Batman Returns for. You have all the Batmans, the Superman. It's great.
So is that like the unofficial, like, is that like the Warner Brothers streaming service, I guess?
It is with it's partnered with HBO and Warner Brothers.
Wow. Good to know.
Titans. I always want to watch that show. So I think
I
also hit on the streaming service Birds of Prey, which, with the emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Oh, that was okay. I wasn't impressed by that movie.
I liked it.
I liked Black Mask. He was good.
And I thought Ewan McGregor was the weak link in that movie.
Huh.
And I was excited because Black Mask is one of my favorite Batman villains.
Interesting.
Now, have any of you ever met any of the Batman actors at any cons or any?
Never.
I'm trying to think of, I did meet one of my, 1 second.
However, I have years ago I was interning at a cable access station in Utah, and Peter Guber, who produced both Burton movies, was supposed to come into the studio for an interview, and I brought my DVDs with me to get my Batman DVDs with me to get autographed, but he never came.
Wow. Well, speaking of autographs, this is my prized possession.
Oh, it's.
Oh, damn it. Oh, okay. That is my Batman DVD autographed by the one and only Danny Elfman.
Oh.
Daniel Robert Elfman. That was in 2010, I believe. And it was at actually the Tim Burton exhibit at the Museum of Modern Art in the city, in Manhattan. So that was an insane experience. I also met Tim Burton at a press junket for Big Eyes movie he did.
Really?
Yeah, got a picture with him. He was a little kind of standoffish. He was like, not a very warm guy.
I've noticed that from watching interviews.
Yeah, he's an artist. They're eccentric. And also, I've met Michael Uslan twice at New York Comic Con.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I forgot. I do have. I have this. This is a good read. I don't know if any of you know this.
I got that for Christmas when I was 12 years old.
You know what book this is?
Is that the history of Batman?
History.
Yep.
Cool.
Or at least the complete history up until 1999.
Cool. Yeah, I have a bunch of books too. I have one that came out in conjunction with the first Burton film in '89, which is also the history of the first 50 years of Batman.
It's funny with that because Batman is what started DC Comics, because DC is known as Detective Comics, and then they had whatever was the brand, DC merged with Action and other companies to become DC. So that's how Batman and Superman merged, able to come.
But Action Comics came first with Superman. 1 year before Detective Comics was Action Comics. So yeah, I think it was Superman that started it, but great characters standing the test of time.
Yeah, he has a name, Oswald Cobblepot. I know they had a statue like this. I would love to get that.
Yeah.
Double entendre.
Did you, Forrest? Do you still collect the comics or not really anymore?
I do. I still read comics. I haven't really been, although I've been kind of slowing up on superheroes. Although haven't really been reading superhero stuff lately.
Mm. Do you have the 1000th edition of Batman?
I do not.
I do.
I did buy the Batman Catwoman, like all the issues leading up to it, up to the Batman Catwoman wedding. But then I hear that oh no, the wedding's like, you know how it was like they decide for some reason they decided to write out the wedding, write the wedding out of continuity or something. And I'm like, oh, fuck this.
Whoop. It's okay. And this
Nope, here we come.
this actor was in. He was also a bad guy in Predator 2.
Yes, he was the guy snorting his own product in the opening gang war.
This is a great introduction to the Catwoman character. See her abilities. Oh. She's great in this. She's like perfect. And they like auditioned a bunch of women. Basically every young actress in Hollywood was vying for this role. And
Wonder what gymnast they got to do with the flips.
Yeah.
Whether it was a gym, because that was a stunt person. Huh?
I said, or if they were able to get her to do it herself.
Well, she did the whip stuff herself.
Yeah.
I don't know about the flips.
Bruce Wayne.
One of the rare times we get to see Burton's Bruce Wayne be an industrial,
Actually work.
Businessman.
Day job.
The famous Wayne Foundation.
Michael Keaton. Basically, after this, he did a bunch of dramas, comedies. I think his most notable after this was probably Multiplicity.
Multiplicity. Oh, The Paper.
Right.
Oh, also Out of Sight, which he did with George Clooney.
That was and what's the Tarantino film?
Jackie Brown played the same. He played the same character.
Yeah. He
Do
never.
we want? Okay. I don't think we should talk about George Clooney. Batman George Clooney, not a good pair.
I hear he will give a refund to anybody who says they saw Batman and Robin in theaters.
You know what? I'm probably in the minority here, but I kind of liked Clooney as Batman. I thought he was a decent.
I thought he was a good Bruce Wayne. I'll put it at that.
I mean, he had the jawline. He looked like a Batman, but the movie around him was crap. So that's sad.
Although I should say, in the wake of Batman versus Superman, I forgave Schumacher. I forgave Schumacher after Batman versus Superman came out. I never thought I would do that, but yeah, I did. And it's so strange because the day that they announced that there was reports coming out that Keaton was in talks to come back to play Batman. That's the same day Schumacher died.
Yeah, right.
And it's so strange, given that Keaton walked away after Schumacher was hired.
Eerie, very, very eerie.
Yes.
Now, has anyone thought about getting the Lego Batmobile? You wonder how much that is?
Probably an entire month's rent for me.
That's got to be close to 200, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful. All of the Lego Batman stuff is really nice, but I don't know. I'm more of a vintage Kenner collector. Not big on Legos. I know, Matt, you are. I know you're a Lego guy.
Not really that much.
Well, I know you've got the DeLorean. You've got the Ecto-1.
I've got the Ecto.
Yes, those are the only two that I got because those were affordable.
Okay.
Yeah, I spent about so whatever the price is of the '89 Batmobile, I spent about a fourth of that for the Ecto-1.
Wow. They make a great couple.
I think they dated in real life at one point.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see that.
Yeah, you know what? Those two. He looks like Donald. His son looks like Donald Trump Jr.
He does.
He actually played Andrew Bryarski. He also played Zangief in the Street Fighter movie, and Leatherface in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake.
Really?
Yes.
With the one with Jessica Biel. Okay. Matt? He looks familiar. Like I know I've seen him in other stuff. Yeah. On this Penguin's office is very Tim Burton. The design of it, the look, the feel.
You know, it kind of looks a little bit like The Nightmare Before Christmas. You know, Jack Skellington's lair, or it just has that feeling.
It's got an Edward Scissorhands vibe to it. You know, the castle on the hill.
You know what is the kind of film that I wish that would be good for Tim Burton to direct? The Addams Family.
That is a good idea.
He talks to do that, but for whatever reason, it fell through.
Well, Barry Sonnenfeld directed the first two Addams Families, and they had like a Tim Burton feel to them, actually.
They did.
The same could be said about Men in Black, which was also directed by Sonnenfeld.
And that one actually had a score by Danny Elfman.
Indeed. Mark Shaman did the scores for the Addams Family movies, but I could have totally seen Danny Elfman do those.
Just the way that he's eating that fish. Oh my God.
I think that's a real fish too. He said Danny DeVito said he ate a lot of raw fish during film.
He enjoyed it. That's what he said. He enjoyed it.
I mean, it's sushi. It's sashimi.
Yep.
And I used to have one of those campaign buttons for Oswald Cobblepot.
Oh, really? Where'd you get it?
I got, I think, at a comic shop around the time of the movie came out.
Okay, because I don't remember I don't remember seeing those.
Yeah. See the posters in the back? Those.
Yep.
It was a pin.
You could probably get that now off of like Etsy or somewhere.
Or eBay, definitely.
Oh, hey, it's Tina the tour guide from Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
And he was also in the Hogan Family, if I'm not mistaken. And, that's Jan Hooks. She was on Saturday Night Live for a while.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, I always liked her impression of Sinead O'Connor.
Yeah, she's funny.
But it's funny that his parents are Pee-wee and Simone, and he has a thing for Tina the tour guide.
Mm. And
I just can't believe he bites the nose like that.
You know. Oh, and Jan Hooks actually, she actually passed away a few years ago.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Oh my God.
This part freaked me out as a kid.
Yeah. Because he does it in broad daylight. In front of like 100 people. It's really.
Now, why did he go for mayor? What was the reason?
Because Max Schreck wanted that power plant of his built, but he couldn't get the mayor to back it. He couldn't get Bruce Wayne to back it.
Yeah.
So now he's propping up the Penguin as a candidate for mayor to get it built, to get it made.
Yeah. For his own nefarious. Yeah, the blood dripping down his chin. This is not a kid's movie.
No, it isn't.
But we all love it, right?
Oh, we all do. It's like, what you guys doing? Because I have kids. It's like, man, what age is appropriate for him to see this movie? I mean, I saw this movie when I was 5, 6 years old.
I was 4.
I was 7. Matt, would you show your son this movie? How old will your son have to be to see this movie?
I don't know. The thing is, do you want to show it now? I mean, right now is not, but if you show it at the age of 4, you could risk of just having to spend the night in your son's room because he has nightmares and you won't get to sleep for the next day because you have to work and then it becomes a cruddy day. So,
Spending a lot of money on therapy. But yeah, it's an odd film.
Also I did have Batman Returns bedding. And I got a lot.
Too.
What?
do you have the cups? You know, the
McDonald's?
collectible cups from McDonald's?
I wish I had them. But the betting, I actually got a lot of mileage out of that. Like it lasted me from kindergarten all the way through college.
Really?
Yeah.
It's sad now. Not even any of them like they used to be. We've seen like from like all those companies they met. Kaboom. Jeez, did you really have to do that? Oh man.
They're just
But like I was saying, you know, from the time like McDonald's marketed with the Jurassic Parks with the collectible cups, Batman with the fast food, they had the glasses, you know, those like crystal-like glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the next time that they have marketed a movie like that. Even like today's Happy Meal toys are not the same. And they may be even phased out in the next few years. What do you think?
I mean, I don't have kids. I mean, I don't have. I mean, I haven't eaten McDonald's in years. I don't have kids, so.
well, they're still doing toys. I know that. I think before the pandemic started, I saw they had Onward Happy Meal toys at McDonald's. So they're still going relatively strong. But this Batmobile, the
Poodle.
the Batarang.
Oh,
And there's Doug Jones, who's a regular in Guillermo del Toro movies.
And when the dog bites the Batarang, that always annoyed me because it was not that low to the ground, you know. It's like a minor thing. The dog like jumps 1 foot, but it was actually like more like 5 feet.
creating havoc.
It was like a Modell's.
I guess it's more like a Macy's type of department store.
Mm.
And Michelle Pfeiffer got decapitated all these heads in one take.
I know.
One take, that's it. Wow.
Well, it was 3 months of training from a whip specialist trainer. So yeah, she got all 3 or 4 heads, and
4 heads.
that's impressive.
I wonder if we still got it. We just ask, hey, here's a whip. Can you still?
Use that whip.
Yeah.
I think she might be a little rusty.
Just don't ask her to put that suit back on.
I mean, she still looks good. She's 62.
Yeah, but she said that apparently that suit was vacuum sealed, and she nearly passed out from wearing it.
Oh, I love this.
Wilhelm scream. And now here's a part that doesn't really hold up very well.
The strong man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know this is meant to be more like a darkly humorous moment, but
He
it's
murdered.
just out of character for Batman.
It was self-defense. It was self-defense, actually.
Because actually, in the comic, what happened was, so the comic was based on the shooting script, but like in both in the script and the comic, he just throws the bomb down a manhole. Doesn't take the tattooed strongman with him.
First encounter. This is my favorite bat suit ever. It's the best, I think.
I would probably say it's probably my second favorite.
Oh, what would you say is your first?
Dark Knight.
Okay, that's good too. Where he has the ability to move his neck.
Right? Yeah.
And the Batman Forever suit in the beginning sequences.
Or for like the first 2/3 of the movie.
Yeah, it's basically this suit.
With a different utility belt. Well,
And
actually, they brought back the more the muscle look.
And
I think I prefer, honestly. I think between this movie and the Dark Knight, I just prefer like a more armored look.
it's more like realistic, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we can see, it's kind of like a pole that just went up like that.
Yeah, you can see it's very obvious.
Yep.
That he's getting assistance here. Like an elevator. He studied kickboxing and I think martial arts for this.
Yep. Oh, I actually have a trading card of this scene. Yeah, actually got a whole. Yeah, among the merch I've got, it's this whole stack of trading cards that I found at a vending machine I found in a vending machine at King Cullen not too long ago, like within the last decade.
Wow. I had both of. They had two sets of cards from I think it was Topps. They had the regular version, and then they had the glossy version.
I believe these are the glossy ones.
Those were like the deluxe trading cards. Those were awesome. I had a few of those too.
Yeah, I used to have those other ones you were talking about, but I think those all got thrown out.
Yeah, they didn't do the glossy ones for the '89 film.
Yeah, actually, overall, besides apart from toys and action figures, the '89 I'm surprised how the '89 movie didn't have as much merchandise.
The '89 movie had a lot of merchandise.
It did, but not quite to the extent that this movie or Batman Forever did.
Right. Yeah, with every movie, they basically up their game with the merchandise.
Well, except strangely, I was thinking about this how the first three movies spawned plenty of video games, but Batman and Robin only spawned two games, one on PS1 and one on Tiger's ill-fated Gamecom console.
Huh.
On what game console?
Gamecom. It was Tiger's attempt at competing competing in the handheld game market.
No.
Oh yeah, those little handheld games for different.
No, not those ones. It was like a full functioning console, kind of like Game Boy or Game Gear.
Mm.
They didn't do an N64 game for Batman and Robin?
No N64, no Sega Saturn, or Sega Dreamcast,
or even Jaguar. Remember that one?
I think Jaguar would have. I think if they were going to put a Batman game on Jaguar, it probably would have been based on either the animated series or Batman Forever. Because I remember Jaguar was dead by 95.
I can't really think there are only two good or decent Batman games I've ever played. I think the animated series game for SNES and actually the Batman Returns game for SNES.
Oh, actually, speaking of which, I do have the SNES game.
Nice.
Along with the NES. This was actually one of the first games I got on the NES.
Huh.
And the Sega Genesis game.
That game was not very good. I'm just gonna say.
I needed a Game Genie to beat it. The NES game was pretty decent though.
Do you remember Batman: Revenge of the Joker?
I have the Game Boy and NES versions of that game.
Yeah, I never really played a decent Batman game.
I would say the best Batman games were, well, I haven't played, so disclaimer, I have never played the Arkham games, so I cannot pass judgment on those.
Okay, well, that's at a different level, the Arkham game.
But as far as like the 8-bit, the 16-bit era,
Yeah.
I would say the best ones as far as from that era were Batman for NES and Sega Genesis. Batman Returns on SNES and NES.
Nice.
Revenge of the Joker on NES and Game Boy, and then the animated series for Super Nintendo.
Were there many differences between the NES and SNES versions of Batman Returns?
Okay, I know in the NES version. Okay, so the NES version is a beat 'em up, but like different levels or like different bosses,
Right.
slightly different gameplay. And actually, one of the major differences is like driving stages. Like the SNES game only has one driving stage, where you're driving the Batmobile, whereas in this game you control the Batmobile. The NES game you control the Batmobile, the Batmissile, and the Batski boat.
Cool. And that way, that's Nintendo or SNES?
Nintendo.
Good to know.
SNES, it was just had one Batmobile stage. Okay, here's one of the strange parts is how did they get the Batmobile?
They've got detailed schematics of the Batmobile. Yeah. They get that.
At least, so in one of the early drafts it was explained that they had taken photographs of the Batmobile in action, and that's how they were able to figure out schematics. But which makes sense. I wish they could have at least left some sort of nod to that in this movie.
Right. Another plot hole. And the bird in the mouth, was that CGI?
No, that was real. Michelle Pfeiffer actually put a bird in her mouth. And funny thing is, I think I was reading about like how she's actually now a vegan.
Because it is.
No, I don't know.
Just because of that.
I don't know if it's because of this, but
It's like chicken.
it is. It does seem pretty funny that she would do that after this movie.
Okay, here's a little trivia question. What was Michelle Pfeiffer's first role?
Grease 2.
Grease 2, yeah.
It might have been something else, actually. Was that her very first?
No, it was Grease 2.
Interesting.
Horrible movie. I don't even know why they made a sequel for it.
Because the first made money.
She still looks good, Michelle Pfeiffer. 62.
And it's funny now that now her and Keaton have switched sides in the MCU. Because now she's one of the good guys and he's a villain.
That's funny. Yeah, she's in the Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yes. And she had a cameo in Avengers Endgame.
Okay. And is Keaton coming back to, what was it, the Vulture? Was that the role?
Vulture is he plays the Vulture.
Is he coming back?
I know he's going to be in the Morbius movie with Jared Leto.
Right. That's it. Just eating some carrots.
Yep.
I think Val Kilmer did a good job of playing Bruce Wayne, Batman, and Batman Forever.
I agree. He definitely seemed more like he felt more like a More like the wealthy playboy that he definitely played up more the Bruce Wayne, the wealthy playboy.
No.
Or at least the public Bruce Wayne as a public figure.
I guess he might have been a better Bruce Wayne than a Batman. I don't know.
Yeah, actually, I think that was Schumacher's strong suit was Bruce Wayne. That was actually Schumacher's strong suit was Bruce Wayne. I think Keaton was definitely a better Batman, but Schumacher, like between Kilmer and Clooney, they were the better Bruce Waynes.
So I want to know if you think this is a good price. Over at Royal Collectibles, they have like a 2-pack still in the box from the Kenner 1989 Batman and Joker for $40. Is that worth?
Wait, a Kenner 2-pack?
Yeah.
40.
Batman movie, Batman and the Joker.
I think you can get that on eBay for a little cheaper.
Yeah.
Mint on card. I'm pretty sure. I think I know the exact 2-pack you're thinking.
Yeah.
Of. That was towards the end of the run of Batman Forever. They wrote,
This is the original 1989 Batman.
No, because I remember around that time Kenner was repackaging their older figures.
Right.
In the months leading up to Batman and Robin. They were repackaging them they were re-releasing them as 2-packs.
They did 89 Returns and Forever, right?
Yes.
It was Batman and the
Joker.
That film.
And then Batman, Catwoman, and then Batman and Riddler.
I mean, Matt, just go to eBay. You'll get better deals. Pretty sure. I don't even think is Royal Collectibles even open now.
They are, yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can take a trip there sometime.
Well, if it is, probably this week because it will be my last week before work.
Oh. We will figure that out. We'll coordinate. I kind of miss Vicki Vale at a time like this.
I do too.
Yeah. Well, actually, no. I don't know. Her screaming kind of got on my nerves. I think Catwoman was definitely a better. Well, even the Catwoman was a better fit. Was a better love interest.
No. Feisty. So Sean Young was originally cast as Vicki Vale in the first film, but
she was practicing horseback riding for a scene that ultimately got cut.
Okay.
And she got injured, and that's when they recasted her with Kim Basinger, replaced her with Kim Basinger.
And I guess she still harbored some negative feelings. She really wanted
Tim Burton. Yeah.
She wanted Catwoman. She wanted the role so bad. And it was funny you said earlier, it was career suicide.
Yep.
Why was it career suicide?
It's just like kind of embarrassing and cringeworthy that she would actually dress up and go to the studio and basically confront the filmmaker, basically saying, "I deserve this role." Yes. Basically demanding the role. It was kind of like
it was so cringy and embarrassing that Tiny Toon Adventures parodied it.
Oh man,
that's funny. I think I remember that video too. Well, yeah. Who played Catwoman? Was it Elmira?
No. What happened was okay, so what happened was in that episode was Tim Burton was directing a third Batman. It was supposed to be directing a third Batman movie, and Plucky tried to get it, and Plucky Duck tried to get in on it, and so during filming, someone sends a cat litter box to Burton, and in the box is Sean Young, who's demanding to play Catwoman, and Tim Burton sicks Elmira on Sean Young.
It's like, I already got it, Batman, and becomes the stunt duck.
That is so funny. I remember that in Animaniacs, they would always have like animated versions of like Steven Spielberg.
I gotta say,
that was also in Tiny Toons.
I will have to say that the animators of Tiny Toons did a real between the design and like also because Maurice LaMarche, who voiced Egon in Real Ghostbusters, he voiced Tim Burton in that episode, and I gotta say he did a really good job like imitating Burton's voice and mannerisms.
I am gonna have to check out that scene after this commentary. Definitely. That's funny. It's so funny. This scene, Batman's closet.
Yep.
I love this.
Oh, me too. All the bat
suit up scenes are always the best. Always get you pumped up.
Definitely.
Oh, and so while like as we're going through Batman's closet, I got last batch of figures, Air Attack Batman and Shadowing Batman. Unfortunately, the cape went missing.
Okay. Is that the glider scene?
Oh, actually, you know what? I probably should have saved this for the glider scene.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh well.
It's funny he doesn't have a cape. It's like he's just lifting his arms up. Your little the figure. It's funny.
Hold on.
All right. Shield's closed.
Shield's open. Yep.
And this is a weird trivia, but they never really say the mayor's name, but I think in the novelization, his name is Roscoe Jenkins.
Didn't Martin Lawrence play a character by that name?
Probably. It sounds right.
Roscoe Jenkins.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know that penguin goon that's got the remote control to the Batmobile?
The girl?
Yeah, she was Diamond from American Gladiators.
That's so
And we
random.
see that's all the shields are all CGI. They always were.
I know, they changed it up a little. It looked different in the first movie.
Yeah, that was easy. Rescuing the Snow Princess, I guess it was.
Ice Princess.
Ice Princess.
Eat floor.
Now, who remembers going on Batman the Ride at Six Flags Great Adventure?
Oh, yeah. Great ride. Fun ride. And it hasn't changed in like over 20 years.
That ride's almost 30 years old.
Is it that old? Holy.
Yeah.
The Batmobile's still there, huh?
I think
Yep.
it is.
I actually have not been to that Six Flags Park in over 20 years.
Who remembers the Batman stunt show?
Yep, I remember that. Although I remember by the time I started going to Six Flags, they changed it to Batman Forever.
Do they even still have this stunt show there anymore?
I have no idea. I don't think they're even owned by Time Warner anymore.
No, they still have their licensing deal.
Oh. Although I do remember their Lethal Weapon stunt show.
The water, the boat show. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Oh, we like this scene. Mistletoe. It's deadly if you eat it. Hey, you're supposed to sing the next line.
Oh, but kiss can be even deadlier if you mean it.
Cat kiss. Okay, even though I already. All right. Wait,
What?
Hmm? I should have saved it for this, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it again right now.
Nice.
One of my favorite moments in the movie.
Oh,
So the glider was one aspect in the original script that made it into this movie.
it's a great moment.
Although actually in the original script you see Bruce Wayne working on it, like putting it together.
Interesting. Great cue by Elfman.
Let's have the champagne.
On a ledge and on some skyscraper. Without any sort of guardrail or anything to cover you.
Slightly dangerous.
It's kind of like a hanging.
Yeah.
Can I just say, just for this scene alone, just for this like whole segment of the movie alone, the Penguin gets around a lot. Like he goes from a rooftop with Batman and the Ice Princess to drinking on a ledge with Catwoman to hopping in a campaign van to control the Batmobile.
Yeah.
In like a little kiddie ride.
Like how did he get down from that building so fast?
Didn't they have those little kiddie rides at Batmobile?
Yeah.
Like shopping
Like,
malls.
crickets.
That's
Yep.
what it is.
Bat-O-Ride.
Why not? Do you want to go to the Oswald's Couple Pod School of Driving?
I think I'll pass. Oh. You guys remember those OnStar commercials?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It's pretty close to more in line with like Batman Forever, that style of Batsuit.
Yeah.
And I think they used this Batmobile.
They did. They used this Batmobile. I feel like you know what? Now that you mention it, I think not using scenes from this, not using this segment, not incorporating this element, this part of the movie in those commercials, that was a missed opportunity.
Mm. Yeah, those were great.
I remember they had a contest to whoever won it got a walk-on role in the next Batman movie, but that didn't happen for another like 6 years, another 5 or 6 years after those commercials aired.
Yeah, that was like the early 2000s, right?
Late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, with contests like that, or there was that one, and then there was this one where you could win $25,000 and the Batmobile. That was around the time the first movie came out, and I wonder like if anybody actually won those contests, and if so, did they get a chance? Did they get their prizes?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Actually, not quite Batman related, but Nintendo Power. Back in the mid '90s, they had a contest. Whoever won it got a walk-on role in The Mask 2.
Son of the Mask.
Well, they ended up not getting that walk-on role, but Nintendo Power compensated them with some cash and a box of games.
What year was that?
This is like around 90. I want to say this was around 95, 96.
Interesting. Oh, the famous Bat Missile. It's a great scene.
That was a Happy Meal toy. The
Yeah.
Batmobile, like in terms of Bat Missile.
And a Kenner. It was also and a Kenner toy too.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was one of the few Batmobiles I did not have as a kid.
A friend of mine had that. A friend of mine had that Batmobile. That Batmobile that could turn into a Bat Missile.
Very cool. Though, how practical is that? Do you really need a Bat Missile? It's like,
I would say how many narrow alleys are there in Gotham? Actually, this is something I've noticed is it just me or does it seem like in Burton's Gotham there's only maybe like 2 or 3 blocks in the whole city? For as big as Gotham is supposed to be, there's like not a whole lot of.
it's really just a big circle.
Well, the first movie was definitely a big circle. This one's got like maybe you've got Gotham Plaza, you've got
Yeah.
the zoo, and then you've got like maybe 1 or 2 streets.
And it's weird because the first film, there's this long stretch of maybe like 6 blocks that lead up to the Joker's parade float, and we don't really see that here. The closest we have is the Rockefeller Center type set, which is kind of like the main street. So yeah, there's a lot of inconsistencies with the geography, I guess.
It definitely feels like very, like this one compared to the first, like even compared to the first one, this one definitely feels like it was. This one definitely feels like it was shot on a set.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's actually, and this is something I will give. Okay, this is something I will give Schumacher credit to. I will give Schumacher credit for was he actually did a lot more on location filming than Burton did.
I just
True.
a lot of like fluorescent lights and CGI for Gotham City. I don't really remember any like real physical sets that really like stand out.
In the Schumacher movies, or
yeah, Schumacher. Yeah, it seemed like a lot very CGI.
I would say if you go back and watch that one, he does a good chunk of filming in around Manhattan and downtown LA.
I'll have to take a look. It's been a while since I've seen it. Matt, are you a fan of Batman Forever?
I am. I mean, it's not one of my favorites, but I enjoy that movie.
Yeah, it has some some redeemable qualities, I guess. I remember the Warner Brothers studio store, and they would show trailers for Batman Forever, and I was like 9 or 10, and I just got really hyped up for it.
I remember Caldors. Remember Caldors? They would show, like, you would go in there and they would show trailers for Batman Forever on loop.
Yep, that's cool. Oh, the 90s.
Here we go.
D player.
Batman CD-ROM, CD player. I love how it has the emblem on it.
I never said that. There goes your election.
I always like how he scratches the CD.
For the DJ.
And then Shrek abandons him.
Yeah, apparently, Burton wanted to go with a double for this scene, with this part, but DeVito insisted on getting pelted with vegetables.
Okay. Dedicated actor.
Right into the water.
All right, if Fred from Batman Forever has to settle for the bronze, I'll give Penguin the silver.
Sounds about right.
Serves up Big Kahuna.
Ooh, a little rough on the branding. You have to settle for the bronze. Although, but then again, I don't know who. I'm trying to think of other who would win the gold as far as Batman characters taking a dive.
The Joker.
Or Edward Nygma's boss in Batman Forever.
He settled. Well, remember, he settled for the bronze.
Okay, he settled for the bronze. Oh. Trying to think now of other
Two-Face.
Watery Grave.
Oh man, the firstborn sent them all to a watery grave. That's a little bit cruel. and just shoots him just like that.
Actually, you know what? I give the gold to the fat clown.
To the fat clown.
This is the last time we'll ever see this Batmobile up until the OnStar commercials.
It could be used again.
Okay, show of hands. How many of you here thought this was MC Hammer at the time you saw this movie? When you heard the
At the
first
time I saw it, yes.
not knowing that this was Rick James.
I didn't realize. It was. Didn't Rick James sue MC Hammer for this?
I didn't hear about that.
I wouldn't.
But looking back, I do think that the use of Super Freak was appropriate for this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Subtle Phantom of the Opera reference right there. Who's beeping?
Is that Alfred?
Actually, there was an extension of the scene with Alfred and Commissioner of this particular scene with Alfred and Commissioner Gordon. It was in the script. It was in the comic. I think they filmed it, but it got cut out.
They've never had an interaction.
In the final film, no. In the final films, no. But that in this scene, there was this part. They were supposed to have a part where Alfred and Commissioner Gordon were talking and watching, like they were observing Bruce and Selena dance. They were observing Bruce and Selena together.
Huh.
But it got cut out. It made it in the comic book, but did not make it in the movie.
Is it a deleted scene?
Yeah, I think they might have filmed it too, but it got cut out. But it got cut. There was a lot of there's a lot of stuff in the comic that was like, you know, that was in the script. It made it in the comic, but it got cut from the movie.
Was it like a scene outside in the street with like Alfred in the limo or something?
No, like they were there at the ball. They were there at the ball.
Really?
Like that. That's just one example. Or like there was another one where there was another one where there's quite a number of parts. Like one where the Penguin's goons are keeping track of all the of everything, of all the crimes they committed, with all the rioting like when the Penguin's first running for office, like they're like keeping track keeping track by radio of every crime they've committed, like including torching an ice rink.
I'm gonna have to get that comic.
Batman Year One.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, Batman Year One.
I do have Year One.
You gotta get back into comic book collecting because, yeah, it's been a while. So,
actually, here's another difference between the comic and the movie was, and another deleted scene. At the end, that, you know, Commissioner Gordon and the mayor are wondering if Batman they're together, with the bat signal, and wondering if Batman will ever forgive them after being framed.
All righty. And I think this is the last Batman movie that Bob Kane was alive to see, or
No, he was alive for all four Burton and Schumacher movies.
was he? I thought he passed away in the mid 90s.
98.
98.
But Bill Finger was not alive to see any of them.
Mm.
I don't know if you're familiar with the whole Bill Finger, with the whole history of Bill Finger and Batman.
I just know that Bob Kane and Bill Finger, there was an issue between the two of them as to who's the rightful creator of Batman. What a...
It was basically Kane had the original idea. He just had the idea for the name Batman.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of what we know of Batman now was Bill Finger's ideas.
I see.
Like the suit, the origin, the Batmobile, the Batcave.
So Kane is just responsible for the name Batman.
Yeah, basically he's responsible for the name, and he drew the comics. But a lot of like the plots and the character development was Bill Finger.
Interesting.
Or I should say plots and characterizations was Bill Finger. Well, actually, no. The Batcave was not his idea. Was not his original idea. That was originally from the Batcave originally created from the 1943 serial.
Mm.
But everything else, like the characters, the Batman suit, the gadgets, the car, the Batmobile, that was Bill Finger.
Gotcha.
And it took him over 60 years to get his name to get him credited get him credited for the creation.
Better late than never.
Actually, I think it might have taken over 70 years to get his name on the character.
Now, who had the Batcave playset?
I did. I had it.
I had two. I had the Toy Biz one and the animated series one, which was actually meant for the Dark Knight collection, but it came out around the time.
It's the same thing.
I had the one from this movie.
Yeah, me too. But it had all the stickers from the animated series.
Yeah, the one I had all the decals from this movie, and but you can tell it's supposed to be from the first movie because like the back part is supposed to be the Penguin's lair, but it's obviously Axis Chemicals.
Mm-hmm. With the vat of chemicals.
Yep.
It's a good toy.
Just take the kids. Is that who I think it is?
Vincent Schiavelli.
He was in Ghost. Played the subway ghost.
And he was in Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Right.
Wasn't he also in Arrested Development?
No, I think you're thinking of Jeffrey Tambor.
He looks familiar.
Oh, yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, he's not gonna like that note.
Apparently, the monkey bit Danny DeVito giving him that letter.
His army preparing to go to war.
So did either of you guys have the Penguin Commando figures?
Yep, I had them.
I didn't feel like they were necessary.
One shot a rocket, the other had machine guns. Yeah, they were just kind of there for show, just like on each side of the Penguin. And
they are no Bob the Goon.
Definitely not.
Actually, one of Mr. Freeze's goons also had a figure too.
Well, that in that scene, there was one scene from Batman and Robin that was funny when he was telling them all to sing, and they were all eating like frozen dinners.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I don't understand, but okay.
But yeah, I think Batman. Yeah, I think Batman Forever is the only Batman movie where none of the villains minions got a figure.
Maybe they did, and we didn't see it.
Would have been cool to see like a Sugar and Spice 2-pack.
Okay, what was this? It was the Batboat? No, it was the
Batboat.
It was the
I just called it the Batboat.
I mean, it basically is a bat boat, but they call it a bat ski boat. This is a hydrofoil. That's what they call it.
I guess so.
I think some animal rights groups had some issues.
Yeah,
strapping rockets to penguins' backs.
Oh please! If we're talking about PETA, they can be kicked to the curb.
Yeah, there was initially some concern over that.
No.
But ultimately, there was like really not much that came of it. It's still funny to watch all these little penguins waddle around with rockets attached to their backs.
Yeah.
Penguins with freaking rockets attached to their back. With freaking rockets attached to their backs. By the way, I'm surprised. Now that I think about it, I was thinking. Actually, this is something that's bothered me for a while. Is how quickly they were able to rebuild Shreks in time for this this party.
How? What do you mean?
And that's the magic of movies.
Because you have to remember earlier in the movie, Catwoman blew it up.
Oh, that's true.
That is true. Yeah. Insurance.
Maybe it was a different portion of the store.
You know, the rich guy.
I would say even with insurance, like it would have taken them probably some time to rebuild it within a matter of days.
Another pothole.
Talk to me about insurance right now. I don't want to hear another word about that.
Now every time I see Michael Golf, I think of the Diet Coke commercial.
Max Shrek is one of those villains that I wish that they had brought over to the comics.
They never did.
They never did. This movie is his only appearance.
I was surprised that they went with that and not like make him Daggett. Because isn't Daggett
okay, so originally Max Shrek was going to be in the animated series, but they ended up Daggett they created Daggett, but they created Daggett Roland Daggett instead. Basically as sort of a replacement for him.
Oh, wow, just to see that duck go up those stairs. And we can see all the explosion. Oh, here comes Penguin. Do you want an umbrella like that?
I'm not gonna lie. I would like that spiral umbrella he had at the beginning of the movie.
They're all pointing at you. And all the bats coming after him.
Mm-hmm.
And down he goes.
One of the rare CGI shots of the movie.
Yeah, they couldn't get real bats because it was too problematic.
Oof. Want to take a bet? He's going to... Yep, he fell in.
That's a good shot. A good creepy shot.
Uh-oh. And there goes the polar bear.
And then coming up is one of the movie's inconsistencies. Or say,
Oh, yes.
The infamous paint makeup around the eyes.
goes missing.
Yes. It always bothered me as a kid.
Yeah.
It's such an obvious thing too. Like how could they leave that in?
I'm sure there's a way they could have edited this so that we couldn't see that part. We couldn't like still do the unmasking, but edit it in a way that they don't show that you can tell his makeup is missing.
They could have cut it a little differently.
Yeah.
He
Exactly.
could have.
Okay, so originally Catwoman was not supposed to survive this scene.
Hmm.
Ooh.
Glad she does, because it makes her one of the greatest images of any ending of any movie.
Yep. Case in point.
Yep.
Huh.
That always freaked me out.
What do you think would have happened if he didn't pick the cute one?
I think Batman would have been able to move out of the way if it were bullets or something. He's very agile.
The drink of ice water. And then boom. And I like this part too when the penguins come out.
Yep.
Bad.
What's I was saying? You think it's? I'm sorry. Yeah, well, were these the same penguins from the beginning of the movie that found him?
Huh.
This is one of those things I've wondered.
I mean, that's what's implied.
On that note, actually, this is another thing. It's like I was also always wondering about about basically the years between the beginning of the movie and like what was the president at the time. Like he's found by the penguins. He joins the circus, and it's like, how did
33 years.
yeah, like in those just wondering about those 33 years, like as far as like upbringing, how did the circus find him?
Hmm. They don't really get into the backstory of the
Yeah.
Red Circus, the Red Triangle Circus Gang.
And I know that early on, Gordon implies that that they've encountered the circus. That it's implied that Batman has encountered the circus gang before the movie.
Do they mention the gang in any of the comics?
No.
Interesting.
Early on in the movie, Gordon tells Batman that the circus gang is back, implying that he's faced off against them before.
Right.
The car.
Yep, there's like one alley in this whole city. I mean, it's the same one where she fell, the same one where she took on that mugger.
It really was a good film.
Yeah. And it holds up.
Yeah.
The first film also ended with the car driving away.
That's true. After Master Wayne, he's going to be a little late. Not this time. He took the cat.
Oh. Yes. There you have it.
The last time we saw Keaton, and from there on out, we would not see Keaton for another 30 years.
30 years.
Well, 30 coming up on 30 years.
Yeah.
He was in a other good movie, The Founder.
True.
About the founder, but I've always wanted to see that movie, but like what I wanted to do was get my hands on one of those old McDonald's souvenir McDonald's souvenir Batman Returns cups, and drink out of that while watching that movie.
That's always a good one.
That's a good idea. Now I kind of want to watch Multiplicity.
No, you got to watch Titus.
Oh, right. Of course, Titus. So, Forrest, this is your first commentary. What did you think?
It was a lot of fun.
Good. Yeah, I know you wanted to do it for a while, so I'm glad I finally got you.
I will say, because I did watch the one that you guys did for Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade.
Yeah.
When you guys were talking about Utah, I'm like, oh man, you guys, oh man, I wanted to get in on that conversation because I used to live in Utah.
Okay. Were you near Moab?
No, I used to live in Salt Lake City.
Okay.
But no, if I knew you guys were doing that, I would have wanted to get on that one just so I could join in on the Utah talk.
Gotcha. Well,
You were not too far from Michael Myers' house.
Salt Lake, the Halloween 4, 5, and 6 were filmed in Salt Lake City, and the Myers house from Halloween 6 was by my alma mater.
And you know Utah well?
I know Salt Lake City. I would say I know Salt Lake City pretty well. As well as Park City, where they hold Sundance.
Oh. I cannot get over Danny Elfman's score for this. It gets me every time. I get like chills every time I hear it. Are you guys big Elfman fans, Matt?
Yes, I'm a big Elfman fan. I even love his song "Weird Science" from his Oingo Boingo days.
That's right. That's how he started.
I would put the 1989 the score for the 1989 Batman movie in one of my top 3 scores of all time.
Nice. What are the other two?
Aliens and Back to the Future.
Ooh, good choices. James Horner and Alan Silvestri. Love it. Yeah, but like I said earlier, Batman Returns is my favorite score because it combines the first Batman theme with the Christmas magic of Edward Scissorhands. It's just a great combination of both styles.
I'm glad. So Elfman was hired to score Justice League, and even though Justice League wasn't that great of a movie, I was so happy to hear his Batman theme again.
Even though it was like 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah, I was expecting a lot more, but his last good superhero score for me was probably Avengers, I think Age of Ultron.
To me, that one didn't really stand out. And Avengers, with the Avengers, I associate Alan Silvestri with the Avengers.
Yeah, did he write the theme that you hear at the beginning logo of Marvel movies now? You know, opening that logo, Marvel.
Alan Silvestri, I think so.
I think it's either Silvestri or Elfman, but I think it's Silvestri.
It definitely seems more very Silvestri-esque.
Yeah. You guys have the Batman Returns soundtrack?
I have it on my Apple Music along with this song by Susie and the Banshees.
What about
Face to Face? That's the name of the song.
What about on cassette or CD?
I do not have a physical copy of it.
Neither do I.
I had the cassette when I was a kid, but
the only 2 movie soundtracks I have the only movie soundtracks I have physical copies of are Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3 and Dick Tracy on cassette.
Nice. Also,
and The Crow on CD.
Ooh.
Animal Action was monitored by the American Humane Association. So no animals were harmed. And that is it.
Wonderful. Oh, gentlemen, thank you so much for being with me tonight. This is great.
Oh, you're welcome.
Us on.
Yeah, I hope to have you guys back on soon.
Yes, that would be.
I want to be with you for Back to the Future Part 2.
Oh, Part 2. That might be booked. What about Back to the Future Part 1?
Okay, I'm in.
Okay.
There's going to be a drive-in screening of Back to the Future coming up in Queens soon.
Yeah, with a Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Isn't that in Astoria?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Interesting.
When is it?
It's Labor Day weekend.
Yeah. I gotta see about that. We'll see. But
Well, I got a car.
Well, we could talk about that in the next couple days, I guess. But yeah, Matt, Forrest, Matt Habermann, Kid Champagne, thank you.
Anytime. Please don't forget to watch Nostalgia Time with Kid Champagne. Listen on podcast. We have some great stuff coming up. And very excited.
Yeah. Good stuff.
And as far as plugs, I recently produced an independent slasher flick called Camp Murder. It stars a couple of my friends, Matt Brugio and Kyle Rappaport, directed by Mark Polonia. Is now available for a limited time on Vimeo on demand.
Very cool. Well, I look forward to seeing that, hearing more about that.
Yeah, it was my first time producing a feature film.
Congrats.
So I was very excited to be involved with it.
Cool. I'm excited just hearing about it, so that's awesome. All All right, guys. Well, thank you for taking this trip to Gotham City with me tonight. This was a lot of fun. And I want to thank everyone watching and listening at home. This has been Under the Radar Presents Movie Commentaries. And I'm your host, Randy Unger. And we'll see you next time at the movies. Take care.
Awesome.